The effect of positive reinforcement on academics and behavior. The research question that I chose is, does positive reinforcement affect student behavior and achievement? This seemed like a very relatable topic to my classroom situation. The demographics of my classroom, we are mostly a Hispanic population. We come from a low economic area. We're a Title I school. So I was very interested to see how this would affect my group of students. Also, when I was looking at positive reinforcement, it seemed like a very questionable strategy. There were majority of articles agreed that positive reinforcement is effective, and some disagreed. So that kind of piqued my interest into this. The literature review. So throughout the majority of the articles that I read, they stated that positive reinforcement is derived from operant conditioning, B.F. Skinner. So basically, in order to get a wanted behavior, you must positively reinforce it to keep it occurring. And a lot of the articles agreed that in order for positive reinforcement to be successful, it must be consistent throughout your entire day, throughout your entire year, and that you must have effective classroom management in place. It's kind of one of those things that if you don't have that, then the positive reinforcement is not going to work. Another term that I saw quite frequently is preventative behavior management. So positive reinforcement is a preventative for any unwanted behaviors. The methods that I used to conduct my research was that we used our kindergarten classroom of 12 students. We split into two different groups or two teams. So one group received just adequate positive reinforcement, kind of just how I would normally conduct my classroom. And the other group received some significantly more positive reinforcement. We did a lot of teamwork, we did a lot of competitions, things of that nature. And parents were sent a note home, and they were able to choose whether their child could be used in this study or not. I have everyone was on board for their child to be in the study. So for the pre-assessment, at the time we were working on number recognition. So students were going to have to compare two numbers using greater than, less than, equal to. Then they were going to have to make their own comparison problem. So we used that same assessment for the pre-assessment and the post-assessment. Some more information on my class. We have 4 white students, 8 Hispanic students, 2 of which came into the beginning of the year knowing no English, 0 English. We have 7 boys, 5 girls. Again, 95% of students on free and reduced lunch, low economic, Title I. Due to attendance issues, just like any other school, I only had about 10 students with some reliable data. So those are the 10 that I used. The results. From the pre-assessment to the post-assessment, my experimental group, or my test group, scored about 8 points higher than the control group, as you can see in the graph below. The blue is our pre-assessment, so they were pretty even, about 70 to 75% range scoring on that pre-assessment. And then the post-assessment, my control group was about 81, and my test group, my experimental group, was about 91. So roughly about 8 points throughout. Also, just through teacher observation, I noticed that my class had more positive behavior. We had less interruptions. Students were more eager to follow directions and to be on task throughout the day, throughout the weeks. So in conclusion, positive reinforcement, in my opinion, is very effective. Through my academic observation, through my observation just in general, it is very effective. Some recommendations, some things that I would like to see added onto this study is that it be completed with different schools with different demographics, to see how that compares. I would also like to see this study completed over a longer period of time. I would like to start at the beginning of the year and maybe go to December to see how that differs. I would also like to see this be continued through grade levels. So the kindergarten group that I worked with, I would like to see positive reinforcement on them in first grade, and to see how it follows with them through the consecutive years and how it builds on each other.